The hidden danger in your daily handful of nuts, and what to eat instead. If you step into a supermarket in any city in America today, you'll see shelves packed with nuts advertised as superfood. From colorful trail mix packages, convenient granola bars to jars of natural peanut butter labeled, good for your heart. They all carry the same message: eating nuts every day will help you stay healthy, youthful, and live long. Over the years, this recommendation has become the guiding principle for a healthy American-style diet. Millions of middle-aged people believe that eating a handful of nuts daily is the simplest way to prevent heart disease, diabetes, and aging. Many think that if they eat nuts and fruits regularly, they don't need to worry too much about their health anymore. However, a thought-provoking question is emerging in the medical community: if eating this healthily, why does the rate of chronic diseases in Americans over 50 still rise steadily each year? According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC), more than 70% of Americans over 50 are living with at least one chronic condition, mainly high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, arthritis, or cardiovascular disease, although most of them follow a healthy diet by modern standards, including eating nuts daily. Their health metrics, from blood sugar to cholesterol, still hover on the borderline. Many still feel tired, have joint inflammation, gradually worsening memory, and assume that's just normal for old age. But could there be something we're misunderstanding about healthy eating? Nutrition experts at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health have pointed out, no food is perfect for everyone. Even the healthiest foods can be harmful if consumed incorrectly, at the wrong time, or in the wrong amount. This is especially true when it comes to nuts. It's true that nuts contain many valuable nutrients, unsaturated fats, protein, vitamin E, magnesium, zinc, and fiber. However, the way we process, store, and consume nuts in modern life often reverses many of those benefits. Think back. When was the last time you ate a handful of natural nuts, unsalted, uncoated with sugar, not roasted at high temperatures? In reality, most nut products in America are pre-processed, salted roasted nuts, honey-coated nuts, chocolate-covered nuts, or compressed snack bars containing sugar, salt, and preservative fats. From a nutritional science perspective, these changes turn what seems like a heart-healthy food into a metabolic burden for the middle-aged body. The truth is, not all nuts are good, and not everyone should eat the same nuts. For young people, energy-rich nuts help replenish nutrients and recover muscles after exercise. But for those over 50, when metabolic rate, liver and kidney function, and cardiovascular health have all declined, eating the wrong type of nuts or in the wrong amount can lead to chronic inflammation, lipid disorders, and increased burden on the liver. What's even more noteworthy, these issues happen silently. The body doesn't react immediately after each serving, but the consequences accumulate over the years. A person might believe they're eating scientifically, while in reality, their body is being quietly damaged by the very foods considered healthy. As Dr. Walter Willett, professor of nutrition at Harvard, once said, "A healthy diet isn't just based on the name of the food, but also depends on how you consume it and your body's biological response according to age." This article won't deny the benefits of nuts, that's impossible. Instead, the goal is to help you understand the differences between types of nuts, as well as how they interact with the body after 50, a body that has undergone decades of metabolism, toxin filtration, and anti-inflammation. In the following sections, we'll dive into 1. Why the middle-aged body reacts differently to food compared to youth. 2. 4 types of nuts that seem golden, but can harm health if eaten incorrectly. 3. 4 types of nuts that truly help slow the aging process, protect the heart, brain, joints, and gut. 4. How to select, store, and combine nuts correctly according to the modern American lifestyle. Because, ultimately, healthy eating isn't about following trends, but understanding your own body. And sometimes, just changing how you choose a handful of nuts can change your health for the rest of your life. When you cross the age of 50, many people still maintain the eating habits once considered standard healthy at age 30, eating lots of whole grains, adding fruits, drinking fat-free milk, and not forgetting a handful of nuts each day. However, many recent studies show that a 50-year-old body no longer metabolizes food the same way as a 30-year-old body. Scientists at the Mayo Clinic have described this phenomenon with the term age-related metabolic slowdown, the natural slowing of the metabolic process with age. Basal metabolic rate, BMR, can decrease by up to 15% compared to when young, meaning the body burns less energy, processes fats more slowly, and accumulates visceral fat more easily. 1. Liver and kidneys. Filters working slower. The liver is responsible for metabolizing fats, while the kidneys handle toxin elimination. In people over 50, these organs often have to work overtime to maintain homeostasis. Research from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, indicates that glomerular filtration rate decreases by an average of 1% per year after age 40. This means the body accumulates waste faster when eating foods high in fats or hard to digest proteins. In that context, salted, sugar-coated, or high-heat roasted nuts, which create oxidative compounds, become a real burden for the liver and kidneys of older adults. 2. Changes in hormones and insulin sensitivity. Middle age is the stage where hormone levels, especially estrogen, in women, and testosterone, in men, begin to decline significantly. These hormones play a role in maintaining muscle mass, regulating blood lipids, and increasing insulin sensitivity. When they decrease, the body easily accumulates abdominal fat and responds poorly to blood sugar. Research from Harvard Medical School, 2020, shows that even when middle-aged people maintain the same diet and activity level as before, they still have a 25 to 30% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes due to decreased insulin sensitivity. That means, a small amount of sugar or carbohydrates in food, like in honey-coated or chocolate-covered nuts, can cause prolonged blood sugar spikes compared to when young. 3. Blood vessels and cardiovascular system, reduced elasticity. According to the American Heart Association, AHA, after age 50, blood vessels gradually lose elasticity due to glycation, sugar binding to proteins, along with cholesterol deposition in vessel walls. At that point, a diet high in sodium or saturated fats, even at a moderate level, can cause faster increases in blood pressure and atherosclerosis. Therefore, the habit of eating salted roasted nuts or salty snacks, which seem like light bites, inadvertently adds hundreds of milligrams of sodium daily for middle-aged people. Many studies show that just reducing 1.000 milligrams of sodium per day can lower average systolic blood pressure by 3 to 5 millimeters of mercury. A small number but enough to make a big difference in stroke risk. 4. Digestion and absorption. Reduced enzymes. Slower speed. A less noticed fact is that the stomach of older adults secretes less acid, making the digestion of proteins, fiber, and minerals, like zinc, iron, calcium, less efficient. This explains why many people over 50 easily feel bloated or gassy when eating whole shell nuts or unground nuts. According to Harvard Health Publishing, consuming nuts high in insoluble fiber, for example, flax seeds or walnuts without grinding, can cause mild discomfort if the digestive system is weak. The recommended solution is to grind or crush nuts finely, or eat them with fermented foods, like Greek yogurt, to support digestion and nutrient absorption. 5. Chronic inflammation, the silent flame of aging. One of the most profound changes in middle age is low-grade chronic inflammation. According to Harvard Health, 2022, this is the foundational factor for most age-related diseases, from cardiovascular diabetes to Alzheimer's. Nuts rich in omega-3, like walnuts, flax seeds, have the ability to reduce inflammation. But conversely, high-heat roasted nuts or those coated with sugar and salt increase inflammatory responses through oxidative stress. This shows, the issue isn't with nuts, but with how they're processed. 6. The body after 50 needs a different eating strategy. Not just, eat less, but, eat right. Many think just, eating less, is enough. But according to the Mayo Clinic, reducing intake without adjusting nutritional composition can cause muscle loss, micronutrient deficiencies, and increased fatigue. The middle-aged body needs nutrient-rich but low empty-calorie foods, meaning focus on quality over quantity. Therefore, the truly good nuts for those over 50 must meet 2 criteria. 1. Rich in unsaturated fats, omega-3, omega-6, and antioxidants. 2. Unsalted, no added sugar or preservatives. At age 25, you can eat any nuts and still be healthy. But at age 55, the difference lies in the details, the type of nut, processing method, timing, and amount consumed. As Dr. Frank Hu, chair of nutrition at Harvard, once wrote, "Healthy eating is not a fixed formula. It's a lifelong adaptation between food and the body that changes over time." And to adapt correctly, the first step is to identify the nuts that seem good but actually harm the middle-aged body. The next section will analyze in detail 4 types of nuts that experts recommend caution or limitation with, the hidden enemies in the world of healthy foods. 4 types of nuts to be cautious with when good foods become a burden for the middle-aged body. Nuts are a symbol of healthy eating, compact, natural, and full of nutrients, but as many nutrition experts at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health often emphasize, no food is completely good or completely bad. Everything depends on how it's processed and the amount you eat. This is especially true for popular nuts in America. Below are 4 types of nuts that seem golden, but in reality, middle-aged people should limit or consume with control, as they can burden the liver, heart, and metabolism. Peanuts. 1. Sugar-coated, honey-coated, or chocolate-covered nuts, honey-roasted and coated nuts. If you often buy packages of honey-roasted almonds, candied pecans, or chocolate-covered peanuts, you're not alone. These are top-selling products in American supermarkets, especially during holiday seasons. The problem is that sweet coating contains more sugar and saturated fats than you think. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, a 1-ounce serving, about 28 grams, of honey-coated almonds can contain up to 8 to 10 grams of sugar, equivalent to nearly 2 teaspoons. When combined with the natural fats in nuts, the calories can exceed 180 to 200 kilocalories, nearly equivalent to a cookie. Harvard Health warns that refined sugar and high fructose corn syrup in these products can cause sudden blood sugar spikes, reduced insulin sensitivity, increased risk of type 2 diabetes, increased triglycerides and visceral fat, mild chronic inflammation, affecting the heart and brain. For those over 50, reduced blood sugar control makes these sweet snacks particularly dangerous. A study by the American Diabetes Association, 2021, shows that just eating 50 to 70 grams of added sugar foods daily for 2 weeks significantly increased insulin resistance markers in older adults. Stethoscope Harvard Health Advice: prioritize raw nuts or dry roasted unsalted nuts. If you want sweetness, roast nuts yourself with cinnamon powder or natural vanilla extract, instead of sugar. Read labels. Avoid products with added sugar, honey glazed, maple coated, or candied. Chestnut 2. Brazil nuts. Rich in selenium, but easy to overdose. Brazil nuts are the richest natural source of selenium in the plant world, a trace element that helps with antioxidants, thyroid protection, and immune boosting. However, too much of a good thing can become dangerous. According to the National Institutes of Health, NIH, the safe maximum selenium level for adults is 400 micrograms per day. Just 3 to 4 Brazil nuts provide over 500 to 600 micrograms of selenium, exceeding the recommended limit. When consuming high selenium regularly, the body can develop selenosis, selenium poisoning, manifested through hair loss, brittle nails, garlic odor and breath, fatigue, digestive disorders, liver damage and peripheral nerve issues. This risk is especially high in middle-aged people, when liver and kidney function weakens, making selenium elimination slower. Harvard Health has emphasized, one nut can be extremely nutritious, but that doesn't mean eat it every day. Dosage and frequency are the deciding factors for health. Stethoscope expert advice: only eat 1 to 2 Brazil nuts every few days. Not continuously. Alternate with other nuts for balanced nutrition. Avoid selenium supplements unless prescribed by a doctor. Salt 3. Salted or high-heat roasted nuts. The silent killer of cardiovascular health. Salt is a familiar flavor enhancer. And in America, 90% of adults consume more sodium than recommended, according to the CDC. A handful of salted roasted nuts, such as salted peanuts or roasted cashews, can contain 120 to 250 milligrams of sodium, equivalent to 10% of the maximum daily sodium that the American Heart Association, AHA, recommends, limiting 1.500 to 2.300 milligrams per day. The impact of sodium doesn't stop at thirst. In middle-aged people, kidneys filter sodium less efficiently, causing fluid retention, increasing blood volume, and pressure on blood vessels. According to the AHA, just increasing 1.000 milligrams of sodium per day can raise systolic blood pressure by 3 to 5 millimeters of mercury, enough to double stroke risk in those with high blood pressure. Additionally, high roasting temperatures, greater than 170 degrees Celsius, alter the structure of unsaturated fats in nuts, producing lipid oxidation compounds, causing inflammation and losing the inherent cardiovascular protective effects of nuts. Stethoscope Harvard Health Advice. Choose dry roasted or raw nuts. Unsalted. Unflavored. If you like saltiness, add a small amount of fine sea salt or Himalayan pink salt after roasting. In very small quantities. Store nuts in airtight containers, away from moisture, to prevent oxidation. Spoon 4. Peanuts and industrial peanut butter. Familiar but not harmless. It's undeniable that peanuts and peanut butter are an indispensable part of American culture, from PB&J sandwiches to office snacks. But behind that convenience and creamy richness are some health risks that middle-aged people need to understand clearly. Warning: risk of aflatoxin, mold toxin. Peanuts are prone to infection by Aspergillus flavus fungus, producing aflatoxin, a potent liver carcinogen strictly monitored by the FDA. Although commercial products are tested, storage in warm or humid conditions can cause mold to regrow, especially if you buy unclear origin roasted nuts or store them too long at home. Middle-aged people with weak livers or on regular medications, like statins or blood pressure drugs, are more vulnerable to this toxin. Warning: hydrogenated oil and sugar in industrial peanut butter. Most popular brand peanut butters contain hydrogenated oil, a source of artificial trans fats that can increase LDL, bad cholesterol, and decrease HDL, good cholesterol. Additionally, creamy peanut butter types often add sugar, salt, and palm oil for smoothness. As a result, instead of being healthy protein, the product becomes an ultra-processed food. An analysis by Harvard Health, 2023, points out that people consuming a lot of ultra-processed foods have a 30 to 40% higher risk of cardiovascular disease compared to those eating whole foods. Stethoscope nutrition advice. Choose natural or 100% peanuts, peanut butter. No added oil or sugar. Store in the refrigerator to avoid mold. If replacing, use homemade almond butter or cashew butter, richer in nutrients and fewer additives. Do not eat peanuts with off smells, bitter tastes, or moldy shells. That's a sign of aflatoxin. Light bulb conclusion to Part 3. Nuts aren't bad, but the middle-aged body needs a smart filter. Each of the above nuts has nutritional value, but benefits only exist when consumed correctly. In middle age, the body no longer has the resilience to sugar, salt, and oxidants like before. So, the important thing isn't to eat fewer nuts, but to eat the right type of nuts, in the right amount, and processed correctly. Harvard Health once wrote, "Healthy aging is not about restriction, it's about precision." In the next part, we'll explore the 4 golden nuts, those that truly support the heart, brain, digestion, and immune system for people over 50, along with specific scientific evidence from major studies by Harvard, UCLA, and AHA. 4 golden nuts that help the middle-aged body recover and live healthier. Chestnut 1. Walnuts companion for cardiovascular and brain health. Among all nuts, walnuts are the most researched in modern medicine. According to a meta-analysis by the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, 2020. Eating about 30 grams of walnuts daily helps reduce 15 to 20% risk of cardiovascular disease and significantly improves cognitive function in people over 55. Light bulb: why walnuts are special. Rich in plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, ALA, alpha-linolenic acid. The body converts ALA into DHA and EPA, helping fight inflammation, protect nerve cells, and reduce atherosclerosis. Research from Harvard, 2019, shows that those consuming as greater than or equal to 5 servings of walnuts per week have better memory retention in old age. Anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. Walnuts contain many polyphenols, natural antioxidants that help prevent chronic inflammation, a cause of Alzheimer's, joint degeneration, and arterial hardening. Good for sleep. Walnuts have natural melatonin, helping regulate circadian rhythms, improve sleep quality, extremely important for cell recovery and memory maintenance. Stethoscope: how to use. Dosage: 4 to 6 halves, about 25 to 30 grams per day. Ways: eat directly, or mix into oatmeal, salad, yogurt for breakfast. Note: avoid salted or sugared walnuts. Store in the refrigerator's crisper to prevent oil oxidation. A handful of walnuts a day keeps your heart and brain young. Herb 2. Almonds, energy source for bones, skin, and stable blood sugar. In American nutrition culture, almonds are a true superfood. But interestingly, their benefits change with age, particularly pronounced in the 50-plus group. Light bulb: why almonds are the fountain of youth. Rich in vitamin E. 1 ounce of almonds, 28 g, contains about 7.3 milligrams of vitamin E, equivalent to 50% daily needs. Vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant, protecting cells from free radical damage, a factor in aging and cancer. Provides calcium, magnesium, and protein. These 3 nutrients combine to maintain bone density, prevent osteoporosis, and reduce muscle cramps, common issues in middle age. Supports blood sugar control. Almonds slow carbohydrate absorption, reducing post-meal blood sugar spikes. Research from the University of Toronto, 2017, shows that pre-diabetics eating 30 grams of almonds before meals had an average 25% lower post-meal blood sugar. Stethoscope: how to use. Serving: 20 to 25 almonds per day, about 1 ounce. Eat with the brown skin, as it contains many antioxidant flavonoids. Ways: as an afternoon snack or add to salad, oatmeal, granola. Note: avoid roasted, salted, or sugar-glazed products. Almonds act like nature's multivitamin, small, simple, but powerful. Rice plant 3. Flax seeds, the golden broom for gut and joints. In recent years, flax seeds have become a new star in the diet of health-conscious Americans focusing on gut health. Harvard Health describes flax seeds as a nutritional powerhouse hidden in plain sight, a treasure trove of nutrition hidden in a small form. Light bulb: outstanding value. Rich in soluble and insoluble fiber. Each tablespoon of ground flax seeds contains about 2.8 grams of fiber, improving bowel motility, preventing constipation, a common condition in older adults due to reduced activity and gut microbiome disorders. Fiber also feeds probiotics, boosting immunity and nutrient absorption. Abundant plant-based omega-3 source. Flax seeds contain a lot of ALA, helping reduce joint inflammation, morning stiffness pain, and supporting cardiovascular health. Research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 2021, shows that supplementing 2 tablespoons of flax seeds daily reduced CRP, inflammation marker, by up to 25% in people with mild arthritis. Supports weight and blood sugar. The fiber and good fats in flax seeds create a lasting full feeling, reduce cravings, and control post-meal blood sugar. Stethoscope: how to use. Grind finely before eating for nutrient absorption. Whole seeds have very hard shells. Dosage: 1 to 2 tablespoons of ground flax seeds per day. Ways: mix into yogurt, smoothies, oatmeal, or salad. Note: drink enough water to support digestion. Healthy gut, healthy mind. Flaxseed nurtures both. Green Circle 4. Pistachios, protecting eyes, heart, and energy. Pistachios, or the smiling nut, are not just a fun snack but also a top food for protecting eyes and cardiovascular health. According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 2020, people eating 40 grams of pistachios daily for 4 weeks had LDL cholesterol reduced by 9% and CRP inflammation index reduced by 11%. Light bulb main effects. Eye protection. Rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 natural carotenoids that help prevent macular degeneration and cataracts. Research from Tufts University, 2018, shows that regular pistachio consumers have 30% higher retinal pigment density, a sign of better vision. Cholesterol balance. Pistachios contain phytosterols, plant compounds that reduce bad cholesterol absorption in the intestines. Additionally, high arginine in pistachios helps increase nitric oxide production, improving blood circulation and vessel elasticity. Healthy energy supply. A small serving, 30 g, provides 6 grams protein, 3 grams fiber, and 12 grams unsaturated fats, ideal for those wanting to control weight while maintaining energy. Stethoscope: how to use. Dosage: 20 to 30 pistachios per day. Choose original flavor pistachios, unsalted, undyed shells. Ways: as an afternoon snack, add to salad or yogurt. A handful of pistachios daily supports vision, heart, and vitality, a trifecta for healthy aging. Precise nutrition, the key to longevity. These 4 golden nuts not only provide energy but also help the body fight inflammation, improve cardiovascular health, protect the brain, and digestion. But the most important point emphasized by Harvard experts is the power of nuts lies in balance, not excess. A small serving, 1 ounce, about 28 to 30 grams per day. Combining diverse nuts can reduce premature death risk by 20 to 30% according to research from the New England Journal of Medicine, 2013. The next part, Part 5, will guide practical applications in middle-aged American life. How to choose nuts at supermarkets, Whole Foods, Costco, Trader Joe's. How to read nutrition labels to avoid health trap nuts. Sample daily menu suggestions. Proper nut storage to avoid oxidation and mold. Practical application. How middle-aged Americans turn nuts into a source of healthy living. Shopping cart 1. How to choose nuts at American supermarkets. Read labels like a Harvard expert. In large supermarkets like Whole Foods, Costco, Trader Joe's, or Kroger, you can easily find hundreds of different nuts, from raw almonds to honey-glazed pecans, trail mix, nut butters, or protein bars with nuts. However, over 60% of those products are salted, sugared, or industrial oiled, significantly reducing health value. According to Harvard Health Publishing, 2023, the first ingredient on the label tells the truth, not the marketing on the front. Magnifying glass 5-step checklist for smart nut selection. 1. Read the first 3 lines in the ingredients list. Good right pointing arrow only, almonds, cashews, walnuts, pistachios, flaxseed. Avoid right pointing arrow, sugar, honey, corn syrup, hydrogenated oil, salt. 2. Check sodium. Under 100 mg, serving is safe. If greater than 200 mg, limit. 3. Check added sugar. Best, 0 grams added sugar. Some honey roasted snacks can contain up to 12 grams sugar, serving, equivalent to 3 teaspoons. 4. Note expiration date and storage. Oily nuts, walnuts, flax seeds, pistachios, oxidize easily, so choose far expiration dates and vacuum-packed. 5. Prioritize dry roasted, raw, unsalted, no added oil, sugar. Right pointing arrow. These are 4 golden keywords when choosing nuts. Speech balloon. Shopping with knowledge is a form of self-care. Harvard recommends middle-aged people prioritize whole foods, the less processed, the better. When needing quick energy, choose a handful of natural nuts and an apple, instead of packaged snacks. Bowl with spoon. 3. Sample daily menu suggestions for Americans over 50, according to Harvard Nutrition Plate. Breakfast. Balanced start, 350 to 400 kilocalories. Oatmeal cooked with unsweetened almond milk. 1 tablespoon ground flax seeds. 1 small banana. 4 walnut halves. 1 cup green tea or black coffee. Stethoscope benefits: stabilizes blood sugar. Provides omega-3 and fiber for gentle gut function. Lunch. Heart healthy, 500 to 550 kilocalories. Grilled chicken or salmon salad with greens, spinach, kale, arugula. 1 tablespoon pistachios or dry roasted almonds. Olive oil plus lemon juice dressing. 1 slice whole grain bread. Stethoscope benefits: protein plus good fats maintain energy. Support cardiovascular and joints. Afternoon snack: anti-stress and focus boost, 150 to 200 kilocalories. Small handful of unsalted nut mix, almonds, walnuts, lightly ground flax seeds. 1 cup warm water or ginger tea. Stethoscope benefits: stabilizes blood sugar. Reduces cravings. Supports memory. Dinner. Recovery and deep sleep, 400 to 500 kilocalories. Vegetable soup plus 1/2 cup brown rice. 1 piece of fish or tofu. 1 tablespoon flax seeds sprinkled on. 2 walnut halves after meal. Stethoscope benefits: omega-3 and melatonin in walnuts improve sleep. Ice. 4. Proper nut storage to preserve nutrients. A common mistake is leaving nuts in the kitchen cabinet too long, causing the oils to oxidize, producing a slight rancid smell or bitter taste, which can cause liver inflammation if consumed regularly. Light bulb. 3. Keep. 2. Avoid. Principles. 3 keeps. Keep cool. Store in the refrigerator. Crisper is less than or equal to 10 degrees Celsius. Especially walnuts, flax seeds, pistachios. Keep airtight. Use glass jars or zip bags to prevent moisture. Keep short term, only store enough for 3 to 4 weeks. 2. Avoids. Avoid heat and light. Don't place near stoves or windows. Avoid humidity. Humidity greater than 60% easily promotes mold, producing aflatoxin. Nuts don't expire overnight, they decline quietly. Woman in lotus position. 5. The 3-3-1 rule, Harvard's secret to maintaining nut benefits. Harvard experts suggest a simple formula for middle-aged people to optimize health from nuts. 3 types of nuts per day. 3 tablespoons or 30 grams total. And 1 fixed time each day. When science becomes a lifestyle habit. Healthy aging doesn't come from restriction, it comes from rhythm. For middle-aged Americans, a healthy rhythm starts with small things. A handful of nuts each day. 1 minute carefully reading food labels. 1 proper storage habit. Those small but consistent changes, according to Harvard, can extend average lifespan by 2 to 3 years. And more importantly, improve quality of life, fewer illnesses, less medication, more energy, and positive mindset. When we enter middle age, health is no longer just what to eat for nourishment, but understanding what the body needs to live better. A handful of the right nuts, in the right way, can help the heart be healthier, the mind sharper, and each day lighter and more fulfilling. Healthy aging isn't about doing more, it's about doing better. Thank you for joining us. If you value health, subscribe to the channel Movie Camera Age Gracefully to receive more reliable shares on knowledge to help you live healthy, joyful, and with quality at every age.